Let's talk about Intel HD graphics.
Shout out to Intel HD graphics, my G.
A prepackaged
It's the best
PC.
graphics I've ever seen.
Bro, he had me rolling. He had me rolling on Twitter. Like when I post the meme about how when your computer goes so fast you can't even see the loading tips.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I understand, man. My stream be going fast as hell. My computer go fast as hell. It's like, fast at what? Running Windows? What you mean, my boy? I'm low key. I act like I'm just like this upstanding citizen because I teach kids and I help people in domestic violence situations. But low key, I am absolute trash. I'm a low key bully, and I think that's the reason why me and Alex get along because we be low key bullying people for real.
That's true.
Them prepackaged PCs.
Boy, let me tell you. All right. What is up, everybody? It is your girl, Nia, the video game her, and this is another episode of Team Red Talks Nintendo. Well, I was about to say Real Gamer, Capcom
and freaking third parties.
Real Gamer must be talking about us right now. Holy crap.
We're talking about them third parties.
Shout out to Real Gamer.
Shout outs to Real Gamer. This is episode 49 of Team Red Talks Nintendo, and we're going to be talking Nintendo, of course. So, before I go ahead and get into these topics, I'm going to go roundtable style to my co-host, and we're going to tell you guys what we've been playing and where you can find us. So, we can start with Coupon tonight. Coupon, let us know what you've been gaming on and what's going on with you and your channel.
Well, I've been gaming on creating an actual struggle PC. It's finally built. It's done. I just need to put the power up to it and see if it actually turns on. Hook it up to my fucking monitor, TV, whatever the hell you want to call it. Put some freaking drivers in that bitch, some windows on that bitch, and go. And then I'm gonna play some Cuphead because I've been missing out on that. But I am looking forward to the Stardew Valley coming tomorrow, actually. So that's gonna be something I'm gonna be playing on next. And been playing mostly Overwatch and your Paragons and whatnots, and just various doodads and what shits and things going on. So that's all. But the girl's slowly moving up the struggle ladder. She was slowly moving up the struggle ladder. So I just want to shout out to Super Bros. And let him know that your girl don't have a pre-packaged PC. She built it. And it's an AMD Ryzen 3. So there you go. She built it.
That's what's up, man. That is what's up. So now we're going to go ahead and introduce Alex. Alex, go ahead and tell the people what you've been gaming on and what's going on with your channel.
What's going on, everyone? ActiveSyn here, and I've completed 2 games this week. South Park, The Stick of Truth. And Cuphead. So yes, Cuphead, I have beaten it. It is hard, but it is awesome. Yeah. And I suggest picking it up. Xbox, Windows, whatever. It's an amazing game. You should be buying it. You should be playing it. Not spending $40 on Capcom Street Fighter.
Oh no. Oh no. What is up, everybody? Like I said before, it's your girl Nia, the Video Game Her. You can find me at the Video Game Her. If you're on my channel right now, you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you give this a like we're saying right now in the chat. Give this a like and get more people in here. Get that SEO up so that we can get butts over here in this stream. As far as what I've been playing, y'all already know what I've been playing. Dauntless. Okay, Dauntless. Because I can't stray too far. When I'm addicted to something, I can't stray too far away from it. But I did manage to squeeze another game into my rotation. When I'm not, duking it out with big, huge monsters and Dauntless, I've been streaming I've been playing a more relaxing game, which is Golf Story on the Nintendo Switch, which is actually pretty a pretty nice game. I'm actually surprised by how sunken into the world I've gotten up to this point. It's one of those kind of games that's it's kind of like Harvest, like the Harvest Moon games, where it's it's a relaxing game, but it has all of the characteristics that you would normally see in an RPG, like a story and interactions with the world, interactions with the other characters and NPCs in the game. And Golf Story is one of those kind of games, but except that it's based around the idea of golf, and you basically trying to become this pro golf player very relaxing game. It does have its challenges within the type of things that you do. It's not like a straight up, you know what I'm saying, like golf game. Like there's some interesting things that you have to do in Golf Story. I know there's one portion of Golf Story where these weird girls like brought like dead bodies to life, and you have to use the golf ball to like get rid of like the zombies. It was really interesting. But yeah, those two games have been pretty much my life right now. I did play a little bit of Cuphead, and it was late when I tried to play it that night, so I just kind of really wasn't feeling it. So I'm just gonna have to wait until like I'm like awake and like I'm actually, you know, not too tired to kind of like, you know, be like that one dude from freaking what was he from that couldn't like jump and shoot and all that stuff.
Dean Takahashi.
But I will say this though, as a Nintendo fan, knowing how to jump is very, very vital. Yes. So
you need to know how to jump. You need to know how to shoot, and you need to know how to freaking dash.
So like this game makes you can really see which guys grew up in 3D era gaming.
Yes, thank you, Alex. Like even when I was tired, like I still was doing something even when I was tired. So shout outs to all of you people out there that hate on platformers all year round who are struggling with basic
Cuphead is out here destroying your mind.
You can tell. I've been watching so many freaking streams, and I'm like, this motherfucker don't know the first thing about a damn platformer. But you know, platformers ain't got no difficulty level.
Exactly.
Is what I've heard.
If you're trying to get a grasp of how hard this game is from the Nintendo world, I would go to Tropical Freeze.
Tropical Freeze.
The Aztec levels. Some of these bosses are as hard as the Aztec levels in Tropical Freeze, so it's way up there on the difficulty scale.
And I get these developers didn't pull no punches. They don't care.
Pull no punches, yo.
I'm looking at all these people. I know how to play, but I'm just watching people. It's so
about this game though. There is an easy mode. Supposedly, it's called like simple mode.
Yeah.
But when you play it, you don't progress.
Yeah.
No. Once you finish that, level, it won't let you finish.
Yeah. So you can't go to the next world. So it's actually kind of pointless.
Yeah, they did it on purpose. They're like, oh,
it's so funny.
It's basically telling them you a scrub.
Well, you know, I guess we could be out here like some so-called journalists, like hip hop, and just use cheat codes. But
yes, use some cheat codes, y'all.
I was hoping we wouldn't go there today.
We have to.
I would have normally told them no, but we have to. Like, come on.
Yeah, I can't condone that, bro. You out here reviewing games, you can't be taking the easy way out.
Like, it's fine if you use the cheat codes on your own time and whatnot, but like, at least play the game as it's intended, so you can give a full, thorough review, and then go back and play it how you want to play, and be like, fuck it, I ain't got a problem with cheating. It's just if you review.
Like, yes. If
with
you're
the cheat codes.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's a very important part. Like, however you choose to interact with your game is your business. But if you out here reviewing games, like,
if you're reviewing games, you shouldn't be using cheat codes.
It just play it on
you're not giving
mode,
the correct experience of the game.
Yeah. Because if you play it on easy, or you're not getting the full experience, because I'm pretty sure there's some shit missing.
The main appeal of this game is the difficulty.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you bypass that, you're not really enjoying the game for what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Real is nutty. Real, stop streaming. Turn your stream off.
The moral of the story, guys, is don't hate on platformers, because there might be a time when a hot game like Cuphead comes up and you're gonna be looking hella exposed.
You're gonna be exposed.
Hey, y'all, go over to Real's channel and bring everybody over here.
I heard like Kofi was saying even BG was like looking like a fool playing this game.
That's crazy. You know,
hey, but shout out to all you, shout out to all my 2D love out there. All that.
So Nintendo guys, Crash is better than Mario, right, guys? Let's go.
So to all of you guys, all of you guys out there, you Nintendo guys, or you guys out there that like platformers, feel vindicated with with the way that some of these people are playing Cuphead, because they talk about us all the time, but they struggling with just jumping.
Mario's easy. Mario's,
I saw like a compilation video of dudes like on the verge of tears.
Oh my god, yes.
It's like, damn,
that's great. Let's move on. Let's actually get into the topics, because we've been roasting dudes for like 5 minutes.
Let's get into it, fellas.
Let's go ahead and get into these topics, man. So, excuse me. The first topic that we're going to be getting into today is going to be all about, excuse me, Darkest Dungeon. So to those of you guys who are familiar with Darkest Dungeon, it is an RPG that's currently on PC that is supposed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch at some point. It's supposed to be releasing on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation Vita. Well, I'm sorry. It has already been on a PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, Mac, Linux, and Steam. The Switch version does not yet have a release date, but we do know that it's coming. So if you like RPGs, that's another one that you might want to be looking out for on the Nintendo Switch.
Where's the console with an X? How come that's not listed?
Oh my!
I thought it had 6
all of your
teraflops.
hate mail to Actives in
Gaming.
Can 6 teraflops not handle this game or something?
Send all of your hate mail to Actives in Gaming. Okay, so also for newsy things, Professor Layton is getting a TV series that's coming out in 2018, and the article goes as follows. A brand new issue of the Total Licensing magazine has confirmed some very interesting news. A Professor Layton television series is in the works, and it will premiere in 2018. Currently, the show is planned to have 26 episodes. Not much more was shared, but it's not out of the question that more news will arrive as its release date gets closer. Anybody here at all interested in a Professor Layton TV series?
No.
I mean, I like the Professor Layton series as far as games, but a TV show, we'll just have to see how it turns out. Other than that,
they should get one of the former Doctor Who's to play this guy. That'll be funny.
Now,
that would
be
interesting, actually.
Is it going to be like live action, or is it
if it's a cartoon, I can dig it. If it's live action, hell no. I hope it's animated because I am not dealing. I can't dig no live action.
I was under the impression it would probably be like an anime or like some kind of animated.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be animated. Yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure.
The way, like, I've never played a Professor Layton game straight up, but based on the premise behind the Professor Layton games, kind of how like they're like a puzzle mystery, like that kind of intrigues me a little bit. So if the series comes out and I hear like a lot of buzz behind it, I might actually be willing to check it out.
Wouldn't it just kind of be like Sherlock Holmes?
That's pretty much it. Like a little miniature Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen that show? It was an old cartoon back in the day, The Adventures of Tintin.
Yeah, Tintin kicks ass.
I feel like that's probably what this show would be like.
Yeah, I think it kind of has some of those qualities. I have seen that in it.
Could be cool.
But I think Tintin's 10 times better, obviously.
Awesome.
That's kind of what I feel like it would be.
But we'll see. When it comes out, I definitely want to check it out when it does, come out. I want to see what it has to offer.
Kirby show back.
Other than that, I would love to have Kirby.
I know, and it was awesome.
It was dope. When
he needs to come back.
He sounded like Colonel Sanders from the KFC commercials.
Kirby show was great.
Yeah, Kirby back at you was dope. All right.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna get into some Xenoblade 2 news. Holla!
Oh no! It's almost time, you guys. It's almost time.
So apparently there was some Xenoblade Chronicles 2 footage that was from Milan Games Week. I'm not gonna show you guys the video because y'all know Nintendo be doing the most.
They be doing it.
Trying to get nothing taken down. Well, not taken down. Just copyright claim. Don't do it. Let me get through the news first. So basically, from the trailer, you can toggle a simpler UI in the middle of battle that removes descriptions, helpful or removing clutter, which is interesting because a lot of RPGs really do have a lot of things going on in the UI. So if you're one of those people that like a more simpler UI, Xenoblade 2 is going to have one of those. I remember in Xenoblade Chronicles X, I didn't really feel like the UI was that invasive, but
how the hell do you know what you're doing?
Yeah, like I feel like
some people
know what's going on. But
I like the UI.
At least it's a toggle.
It's an option.
Yeah, it's an option. It's whatever. The UI issue where the level of special art is not shown for the first stage has been resolved. So I guess there was some issues from varying trailers. The unique monster theme has changed again. I don't know. I haven't been watching a whole lot of this because I don't want those spoilers.
I've tried to watch as little as possible.
Yeah. Let's see. The Fansa Maima Night theme can be heard. I don't know because I didn't play the originals. I think that's maybe an original Xenoblade song or something. Because why would they bring that up if that wasn't the case?
I guess.
There's a mechanic where you can combine the break, topple, launch with special arts. So you can combine those abilities. I don't really know how that's gonna play because I haven't seen it because like I said, I've been trying to see as less as possible. Extending chain attack seems to be based on bursting the elemental orbs rather than random affinity between characters. That kind of sounds like what they did in X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in the X, it didn't really your what was it, like your overdrive mode or whatever, and it really depend on your affinity or your connection with the other party members. There's an announcer like Baton Katos who exclaims when something rad is happening. That actually sounds kind of hype. And there's probably way more choice making at any given moment than either Xenoblade X or the original. One of the things that I remember that we talked about with Xenoblade Chronicles X whenever we did when we did do our podcast about Xenoblade Chronicles X was how we didn't know whether or not the choice making in Xenoblade X was actually like relevant or if it actually did anything to the
story. It wasn't.
It wasn't relevant at all.
Because like there was this one mission. If I'm spoiling it, y'all. This game.
It don't matter. It's been out so long. Ain't nobody playing.
Whatever.
Ain't nobody playing it.
So. There was this one mission in Xenoblade X where you were down at that little water reserve place or whatever. Yeah. Like there was like this breakout thing, and like the girl who was over it or whatever, she was like, "Okay, thank you guys for helping me, blah blah blah. I'm gonna go relax now that it's over to take a shower." So I was like, "Yeah, it's okay to take a shower," because she asked like, "Is it okay to take a shower, or should she stay at the base and kind of see?"
Oh, I asked her if she. I told her to stay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I told her to stay.
That bitch got killed.
Did she die?
She died.
She still died?
She died.
Oh, that's bogus.
I told her to stay because something seemed fishy. I was like, no, don't go take a shower.
And then she died.
So she dies either way.
Yeah, so you made the choice of her to go into the shower and she died anyway.
She died.
It didn't matter.
See, now that's I didn't know
I told her to stay. Yeah, I told her to stay.
So hopefully they do make it to where your choices actually do matter more in this game. That's bogus, bro.
That's bogus as hell. Because I told her to stay. I was like, damn. I got her killed. I could have told her to go to take a shower and maybe she would have been all right. Guess not. She would have died anyway.
Shout out to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, bro. This game is gonna be straight up fire. Moving on to the next news. This is about to trigger the hell out of all of y'all because I've read it, so I've had time to.
Oh my god! I just saw the headline. I just saw the headline. I don't want to. Nah, this ain't news. Get rid of this.
I've had some time to kind of internalize it. So
fuck this shit.
Listen, guys. Listen carefully to any of you guys out there who are looking forward to Fire Emblem Warriors.
Don't get this game.
Roy or Ike. Listen very closely.
Don't get it.
The article is as follows. Don't expect Ike or Roy for Fire Emblem Warriors 1 DLC. When they're talking about Fire Emblem Warriors 1 DLC, they're not talking about DLC Pack 1. They're talking about the game, okay? Source Gaming has been hard at work as always, translating the latest edition of Japanese publication Nintendo Dream. The magazine says that both Ike and Roy are unlikely to appear in Fire Emblem Warriors for the Nintendo Switch and new Nintendo 3DS as downloadable content. The article says they won't make it unless there's a sequel on the horizon, which will probably be dependent on sales.
And there won't be because this game is bombing!
There won't be because the game is bombing. It's bombing in Japan right now, and I hope it bombs here because I'm not buying it.
Fuck this game!
I'm not gonna sit up here and justify that. You're not gonna tell me to get this game in hopes of seeing a fucking character, 2 fucking characters at that, in the sequel. Fuck you and your sequel. Eat that fucking bag of dicks. Enjoy.
And
yum
I
yum.
knew that this was gonna be
fucking waifu trash game. I'm so glad it's bombing in Japan. It's gonna bomb even harder out here.
That weeaboo piece of
fucking
shit trash
garbage.
Game.
Garbage ass game.
Nintendo and whoever the fuck made it. I don't know. Force Gaming, all them motherfuckers. I don't care.
I knew exactly what the response was gonna be. That's why I let y'all have it.
It wasn't even about. In the beginning, it wasn't even about. Like in the beginning, it was the Ike thing, and then it went away from the Ike thing. It was just all about why is all these weeaboo waifus showing up. Now it's back to Ike again. You shitting me? You want me to buy this game so I can see Ike? Fuck you. I see Ike in fucking Smash Brothers. I'll get him there because it's coming to freaking Switch at some point. I'll just see him in the regular game.
It's sold worse than Hyrule Warriors in Japan, and Japan doesn't even like Zelda, so that tells you how much this game is bombing.
Yeah, exactly. It sucks. It must not be great. Oh well.
Trash!
And probably should have did Hyrule Warriors too then.
Okay.
They should have made fucking Mario Wars, like I said, because they fucked this game up.
I don't know about that one. But
I
will say
it'll be better than this, considering.
Yeah, they would probably have more respect for the franchise. But
probably.
Just like how we said last week, this game is weeaboo pandering.
Yeah, this is weeaboo waifu pandering garbage.
It's not working out for them. So,
and clearly, there's not enough of you fucking weirdos out there to support this game.
And you know, the funny thing about it too is like how we were talking about last week. Like, there's been so many fans like talking to Nintendo about what characters they want. Is like, do you guys not listen to like the actual fans? Not like
where did they get the idea that people wanted an entire game of fucking waifus? Where did they get this idea?
And this is what boggles my mind. You went from Hyrule Warriors, a very well polished game. It could have even been better, you know, frame rates aside and all that stuff, but it was a polished game for what it was worth. You had all the characters from all the different franchises and stuff across the board, from Ocarina to Twilight Princess to all that good stuff. You even made a new character who I actually decently liked. Linko wasn't, you know, she was okay, I guess. It was a thing, but whatever, she was there. And then you finally gave me the fucking person I wanted to see the most, which was Skull Kid, even after I had to wait a little bit longer to get him. But he at least is there.
The way they handle the DLC in Hyrule Wars is way better.
Way better. And you mean to tell me you can't put Ike and Roy in here? You can't put some other motherfuckers from the older versions of freaking Fire Emblem Warriors, the ones that people who've been supporting this franchise from the very fucking beginning. But
they got Lynn, but that's about it.
One person, I guess. I mean,
you know what? Really
I'm just saying, it's like with how many freaking characters you have across all of the Fire Emblem franchises, and you mean to tell me you can't at least get 5 from each one of these different freaking franchises, make a story around them, and then DLC for the rest of the group that are in those things, and you finally got an Archer. Woo, she's a weeaboo bitch too.
I wonder what the reasoning is, because they haven't explained why even the DLC.
You know what I think it is. Fire Emblem is one of those series that wasn't never really popping. Like, even in Japan, it wasn't really popping, and it didn't really start popping until recently with like Awakening and Fates. So I think they felt like, oh well, this is obviously what the people want because now Fire Emblem is popping. But what they failed to realize is that even though Fire Emblem Awakening made Fire Emblem way more popular than it's ever been, there still has generally been a very good respect within the Nintendo community for Fire Emblem. Even though, like, say for example, maybe you've never played a Fire Emblem game in your life because maybe you don't like turn-based strategy or something like that. You at least respected the characters from like Smash Brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like a certain level of respect that Fire Emblem has always had.
I'll be the first to say it. I have not played a single one of these fucking games, but I respect it because the way they treated them in Smash Brothers, and then so I read up on them, and I was like, wow, this is some interesting stuff, and I wanted to play the games, but I'm not about to play them on no 3DS. Fuck all that shit.
And there's
they're bringing one to the Switch, so I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and support that. But the way you're doing it right now, and then I'm looking at the fans who have been here since the beginning supporting this the franchise, and they're just like, this is some garbage. I'm like, this is not how you treat your fan base at all.
Right, like it's not like it's like there's a certain respect level, like I said, that Fire Emblem has always had in the hearts of like fans, whether you play the Fire Emblem games or not. Just based on hearsay, you know that Fire Emblem characters are usually the most regal. They're usually the most well balanced as far as character wise. Like even the women characters, I hate to go there, but it's true. Like even
I'm glad they have a lot of I'm glad they have a lot of strong females.
Very well balanced. You know what I'm saying?
But the fact that you're turning them from that strong, characteristic to this whole, oh, I'm a cute little,
And there's nothing wrong with that, but there wasn't there wasn't like an oversaturation of those kind of characters.
But they're doing it right now, and that's what's irritating. It's like you normally didn't do that. You had a nice little, mixture of male and female strong protagonists, antagonists, all that in between. Your swordsmen, you got your fucking magic
main characters, right?
Main characters, background characters, all of them were all very well put together and treated with respect.
But guys, why do you want any of that? You could have Lucina in a wedding dress. Like,
fuck that bitch.
And for those of you people in the chat, like, I'm not on like some social justice. Like, I don't have a problem with like sexy, flexy, like cute female characters.
Neither. I don't either. But when
there's so many of them, it's like
it's too many.
It's too many.
There just needs to be balance.
There needs to be a balance between that. It's fine to have a
game. It's too many waifus.
Too many swordmen.
Too many sword users. There's like what?
Like
one
how
or
many
two
archers? How many lancers?
One
how
that
many
I know about.
They revealed an archer like last week.
An archer last week.
But like
one archer.
Most of them are sword users.
But she's a freaking weeaboo wife as well. Like
it's ridiculous.
This game, I'm glad it's bombing. It's gonna bomb here. Other than weebs buying it, no one gives a shit. Let's move on.
You know what's telling though? When Fire Emblem Heroes is doing so, like I understand, like Fire Emblem Heroes is free. It is free. It's on your phone, but like just even
how does a free game have better characters than a full price game?
Like they even treat it like I think like not only is like I understand it did well because it's free and it's on phones, but like there's a certain level of respect that people have for it, even though it's a phone game, because they made it very diverse with Fire Emblem characters from all of the Fire Emblem series.
Yeah, and I think that was like when I was playing that game. I
think that's why a lot of people are pissed because like you have this free game on the phone and it has a more in-depth roster than the full price game, even including DLC.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We gotta move on. We can't keep harping on this, but
screw this game.
Fuck this game.
I think I'm over it, to be honest. I was
really excited for this game. Completely off my radar.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the real Fire Emblem game in 2018 and that just is what it is. Alright, just play that one. Next newsy topic. WWE 2K18 for the Nintendo Switch is coming later than the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One version.
Fuck!
Yeah.
Saw this coming.
While NBA 2K18 from 2K got a digital release the same time as the PS4 and Xbox One versions, it appears that WWE 2K18 will have a bit of a delay. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions are coming on October 17th, but it doesn't look like the Switch version will be making it to the main event that day as well. And so here is a tweet from someone by the name of Andrew Coatman. He says, at WWE Games, is the Switch version also coming out on the 17th? All I keep seeing is fall 2017 anywhere I look. And they said, as a reply to him, fall 2017 is correct. Fall is a bit of a generic release window, with fall usually ending at the end of November. Let's hope that the game does release in 2017 so Switch owners can enjoy WWE on the go. So Alex, as our resident wrestling dude, how do you feel about that?
I'm very sad. This is one of the few third-party games I was actually going to get on the Switch instead of my PC or PS4, and it's delayed now. So that's very frustrating.
I feel like they would probably try to get it away from Mario. I feel
maybe
like there's a good chance this game is done, but they didn't want it to get too close to Mario.
It could be, because like the way I look at it, they had Seth Rollins, which is like their top guy, coming out and promoting this game, and they promote it on Up Up Down Down, which is a YouTube channel for gaming by some of the wrestlers, and they're talking about it too. So like they're obviously invested in bringing this game to the Switch. So it could be they're just trying to avoid Mario, because Mario comes out 10 days after this, and definitely majority of the fan base would skip wrestling to get Mario. That's just reality. That's just a fact.
That's like releasing around Grand Theft Auto. You just don't do it.
You just
don't do it. Like that's what's so strange. That's probably a reason there's not a lot of games releasing around that time, anyways. But maybe it's coming in November. November's kind of slow. I feel like when is Xenoblade is December. Nothing's in November, right?
Yeah, there's nothing in November, so it might come in November.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd rather it come out the same day, but I would understand.
But the only thing about it is
Mario.
Yeah, I understand for that reasoning, but then once Mario is out, it's like it's still nobody's not gonna be looking at it because Mario is out. So I would think you have a 10-day head start, get it before Mario, and I understand why, I really do. But it's just like once Mario's out and you're trying to put your game on there, people aren't.
Because we know they can release
just...
games day and day because they did it with NBA.
Yeah.
I don't really. I'm gonna be optimistic here and say I don't really think that it matters that much because people on the Switch have proven that they're actually buying software. Yeah. It's not like a Wii U situation where like you're getting it like months, several months, to like a year late. Like people on the Switch, like they like the fact that they could play their games on a go. And regardless of what's going on with EA right now, which we will talk about, people are buying games on the Switch. NBA 2K is still like in the top 5 on the eShop right now. Still, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, it's doing very well.
And it's right now, it's digital only, so that's a good sign. So
they still haven't released the physical one?
No, I think they're releasing it this month, sometime this month.
Oh, wow.
Alright, so for more newsy things, we're gonna move on. Mutant Mudds collection is announced for Nintendo Switch. Mutant Mudds is a platformer. 2D side-scroller platformer. Very, very good game. I have it on the 3DS and I also have it on PC as well. But the collection will be coming to Nintendo Switch in Q4 of 2017. That's fall, right? Q4 is fall, right?
How many games? You get 3 games?
It's gonna be coming with Mutant Mudds Deluxe, Mutant Mudds Super Challenge, and Mud Blocks, a brand new puzzle game. So for those of you guys out there, cool. And by the way, a little tidbit about the developer behind this game. Jules Watcham is the guy behind this game. He was one of the guys that was a part of Renegade Kid, but Renegade Kid split up and now they have like different studios. They're kind of doing their own thing. And Jules Watcham, he's now with a company named Atui. So they're going to be the ones releasing this game. So if you are familiar with Renegade Kid, the indie game company, this is basically something that was a result of their development company.
Atui is a very dumb name.
I agree. So, Super Mario Odyssey will be playable at most Best Buy locations. Cool. And it will be happening on, I don't know what day because it doesn't say. If you're looking to try out Super Mario Odyssey ahead of launch on October 2017, look no further than your local Best Buy. Demo stations are set up at many local I guess they're already available, where the Sand Kingdom Tots Arena is playable. No word on how many locations have the game set up, but a Twitter representative claims that most stores should have it available for customers. So, a Twitter user by the name of DarkShadic1337 asked Best Buy support, are Super Mario Odyssey demos being offered at Best Buy locations, like in the picture, or only certain ones? And
does your guys' Best Buy even have a Switch? Because mine doesn't.
I don't know.
I haven't been to mine recently. It didn't have one. It didn't have one back
Best Buy yesterday. Yeah. They have a Nintendo Switch like display with the TV, but there's no Switch.
Yeah, I don't know. I
haven't checked. I gotta check because last time I went to mine, it still had the whole Wii U setup thing. So
yeah. Mine has 3.
I was like, you know, this thing is dead, right? I asked them too. I was like, hey, y'all know the Wii U's dead, right? They're like, oh yeah, we should have a display for the Switch soon. It's just we don't have it yet. I'm like, okay, that was like months ago. So.
Yeah, so Best Buy responded to this guy. Greetings, most locations should have the demo. I advise to contact your local store for details. So, if you are near a Best Buy, check out with them and see if they have a demo for Super Mario Odyssey, because you might be able to get your hands on it before it comes out in a couple of weeks. Some more Super Mario Odyssey news is that the Super Mario Odyssey director states that lives are not absolutely necessary. He says that we've heard before that the Super Mario Odyssey on the Nintendo Switch won't punish gamers with the traditional game over screen, which is actually kind of disappointing. If you do die, you just lose some coins. Game Informer recently had the opportunity to chat to Super Mario Odyssey director Kenta Motokura, who explained that they made this interesting change to the game. And here's a quote from the director. We thought about how a live system would work in this kind of broad exploration-focused game. In this sort of game, there would be a lot of different restart points. We decided not to use the live system because it was not an element that was absolutely necessary. We also thought that it would affect some users' desire to play, because while users who are good at the game would rarely see the game over screen that comes up when Mario runs out of lives. Inexperienced users would probably end up seeing it frequently.
Good.
So, how do y'all feel about that?
Good. They need to see the game over sign.
What happens if you run out of coins, though?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Do you still get the game over? Because
maybe you just stay at 0 coins, because they don't say that you restart the level or anything.
That's kind of weird, because I would think that once you die, you would restart at a save point or at some kind of like checkpoint or something. But apparently, it doesn't seem like you have checkpoints in this game.
I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna work, because even Zelda
do you start over? Yeah. So do you like start at a beginning of? See, because my thing, the thing about Mario is I'm used to like dying at some point and then having to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, at some kind of checkpoint. So when you lose coins, you still stay at where you're at and you just continue forward. And it's like, it's gonna be different. It's definitely gonna be different, because I don't know.
But there are checkpoints though, because I played this game.
That's what Okay, so that's what I thought. So what's the point of the checkpoints if you're not gonna die anyway?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand what.
If you're not gonna get a game over, or you're not gonna die at any point, you know, then you don't need a checkpoint, because you're not gonna die. You're just gonna lose coins.
But you do die though, and then you restart at a checkpoint.
Okay, so you do restart at a checkpoint.
They're gonna die, but they're just not gonna have a game over screen.
I guess there's just no game over. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. Like, you're still gonna have all these same experiences of dying and having to start over.
That's like there is a life
over
bar.
Okay,
there's a life bar, but like I don't. This is kind of strange. I guess there's just no 1-ups.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks. That's what everybody. I love that to hear the.
Yeah, no. That's true. I didn't think
like that's that. Iconic. How would you get rid of one of the most iconic like sounds and like things in a game?
Oh, it's probably still in there.
Look what they did with Zelda.
But they still had the da 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 da. They always had that. They still had that shit in there.
But they didn't have overworld music.
Yep.
So some conventions have been changed.
Well, that was small.
Like, I don't mind. From what I played, I didn't even notice it. So. But
yeah,
I guess it doesn't even matter.
It sounds like you're still gonna die. It's not like a
you can still die.
It's just not gonna have a game.
It's not like you're hip hop gamer playing Cuphead or something. You can actually die.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on.
All right.
So this is a thing that I feel like is absolutely necessary to talk about, considering that we all do content on YouTube, even though none of us are part of the program. I still feel like it's something to talk about, because you never know. Sometimes things like these do set precedents for other things to come in the future, especially with YouTube and how YouTube is changing, and there's so many things going on that kind of work almost against the content creators. But to those of you guys who have been living under a rock, Nintendo has been banning YouTube live streams as a part of their creators program. So to those of you guys who don't know anything about the Nintendo Creators Program, just know that it's not a good deal regardless. I remember
What about the FIFA topics?
That's going to be after.
Okay.
So, like, as far as, like, their creator service, I already knew from jump it was trash. Like, as soon as they announced it, like, a couple of years ago, I knew it was straight up garbage and that I was not going to sign up for it.
Hell no.
But to those of you guys who maybe got duped into signing up for it, I got some news. So, the article is as follows. Those of you who are members of Nintendo's Creators Program will have been sent an email recently informing you that YouTube live streams are now technically banned. Obviously, this policy hasn't gone down too well with creators, and you can read the message below. And this is an email from the actual Nintendo Creators Program. Thank you for using Nintendo Creators Program. We have updated the Nintendo Creators Program user guide with information on how revenue generated during live stream broadcasts on YouTube will be handled in the Nintendo Creators Program. Live streaming on YouTube falls outside the scope of the Nintendo Creators Program. This means that you cannot broadcast content on YouTube Live from the account you are registered to the Nintendo Creators Program. Please check the user guide for details. Thank you for your ongoing support of the Nintendo Creators Program. As YouTube continues to evolve, we will work to provide you timely information to help you manage your account with the Nintendo Creators Program. So how do you mean
stifle your account?
Stifle your account, exactly.
Stifle that motherfucker.
I'm not registered with the Nintendo Creators Program, so I'm not really salty about this. However, I will say this. Nintendo has got to stop being so antiquated with anything that has to do with online. If you have created a program specifically for people who make games about your videos about your games and your content, you need to give these people the fullest extent of what that entails. There's nothing but good advertisement for you, Nintendo, to allow your ambassadors, your creators, to use your content for the betterment of either their channel, because that gets your name out, or just to kind of spread the word in general about your game. To me, it's not smart at all. I don't know if maybe this is kind of like a last ditch effort to try to work around all of the changes going on at YouTube in general. Like, as YouTube is changing and evolving, and there's so many things going on at YouTube at the higher level. But I don't really feel like it's the best choice to stop it altogether. Like, Nintendo's a large company, corporation with lots of lawyers. They couldn't figure out any other way to allow their people to use this service without just leaving it alone altogether. That makes no sense.
This is mostly a direct response to, everybody knows what happened recently. PewDiePie dropped the N-word, and so this is a direct response to that. This is Nintendo's way of making sure through the process of someone streaming their game or someone associated with their content program, their creators program under the Nintendo name, their ambassador, any one of their people who's connected to them in any kind of way. This is their way of being able to stay away from that kind of aspect of what's going on. So if anybody drops any N-bombs or F-bombs or any other kind of unsavory things happening, because it's a live stream, they can't control it, they can't control what happens, they can't control what people post, because some people have streams where they show the chat and the chat might get very toxic, things like that. So this is their way of mitigating that, and I understand why they're doing it. Cool, kudos to you for that. But as Nia said, it's very counterproductive to, your brand, period, point blank. But for the most part, this only affects those people who have signed up to the creators program with their whole full channel. Yeah. If you only signed up as far as submitting just a single video at a time that has Nintendo content in it, then you're fine. It doesn't apply to you. But if your whole channel is signed up to this program, then you're screwed. But there is a way for you to unsubscribe from the program. They do have a way for you to do that. You can unsubscribe your full channel from it, and then you can go about your business doing your live streaming and whatnot. But yeah, this only affects those who have their full channel signed up to this program, which I don't know why anybody would, but but yeah, this is their direct answer to the whole PewDiePie situation and any future, situations that might occur in that sense. That's what this is.
And that's how I feel too. That's why I'm not I understand, but then again, I still think it's dumb, because YouTube is changing so much right now. Like how you just mentioned with the whole PewDiePie thing and all of these dumb streamers doing all these dumb things. It just doesn't look good if you're the latest streamer in the headlines for saying you're doing something stupid. I get it, but at the same time, it's counterproductive. But I mean, it is what it is. What do you think?
I just think that they could put easier rules into place for live streaming. You can't control everything, but you can still put some kind of rules into place for live streaming. If you plan to live stream, your live stream has to follow ... and ... If it does not follow this, we will, strike you. Yeah, we will ban or strike that, video, or kick you out of the program or something. Just give some guidelines as to what you want from your content creators, your ambassadors, and whatnot. Give them the chance to actually follow those rules, because most of them will. Nintendo groups, they tend to be pretty mellow and stuff. Channels and stuff, they tend to be mellow and not about all that cussing and all that stuff, and calm and stuff outside of what you got with Dashy. But he's also calmed down for the most part. You can hear him bleeping out his stuff and everything. So I mean, with YouTube changing, people are cursing less, they're doing less, they're not themselves as much, they're turning into robots in a sense. I've noticed a lot of
genuinely care about their channels have been kind of calming down.
They've been calming, a lot of people. They have to. They have no choice. And then people who are like just kind of like don't care because they don't monetize. There's like a few channels I follow that don't monetize whatsoever. All their stuff comes from donations and Patreon and stuff like that. So they don't care. They curse, they do their thing, whatever. Then you have the other people who, you know, they have all their eggs in a basket, which is YouTube, and they don't have they have Patreon, but it's not that much for them and stuff like that. You could tell they're cleaning up their act, they're calming things down and stuff like that. There's people who are literally just leaving YouTube and going to other places altogether. They're just like, F this, I'm out. Yeah. So I mean, YouTube's changing, so Nintendo feels this is their, you know, be all end all, you know, solution to the whole. I don't want you going live and saying, you know, F-bombs and N-bombs and all that stuff and going crazy because we can't control it. So since we can't control it, you just can't do it. Point blank, period, done.
And like I said, I understand why, but at the same time, it's like they just can never find like a middle of the road,
a happy medium.
Like everything with Nintendo is always so extreme. Like they can't just ever find a middle of the road way of handling things. I'm gonna let Alex talk about this for a little bit, and then we're gonna go into our main topic of the night. Alex, you got anything?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So I'll just kind of briefly go over this. Yes, you can pretty much just know this is a knee-jerk reaction to PewDiePie. Yeah, not just him, but there's a lot of big YouTubers. Like I forgot that guy's name, but he was caught masturbating while live streaming. Like,
that guy.
These things happen. They're out of the control of Nintendo, and they're trying to protect their brand. So I get it from that aspect. They need to make sure that they don't piss off their sponsors. They got to make sure their board's happy. They want to make sure people aren't watching guys like PewDiePie using racial slurs while playing Mario. Yeah, that's bad publicity for them.
Yeah.
But the thing Nintendo doesn't understand, or maybe they just are kind of so arrogant, they don't realize when somebody watches PewDiePie, they're not watching him because of what he's playing. They're watching him because they want to see him.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo doesn't really get that, and that's whatever. Of course they're gonna do something like this because when Nintendo doesn't have control over something, they're gonna first priority is protect their brand, protect their IP.
Like all the time, it's like some defense mechanism or something.
Oh shoot, something's going down.
I get it because like it's all they have, right?
Yeah.
If Mario is lost or Zelda's lost to them, then they're gone.
Yeah,
they're irrelevant.
Yeah.
So like I totally understand why they do stuff like this. Is it overboard? Yeah, absolutely, it's overboard. The Creators Program is already a terrible program, and now if you're part of it, I don't know why you would be.
Yeah.
Link your whole channel to their system because that's a bad idea. Because you can actually just do individual videos through them. You don't have to monetize. You don't have to sign up your whole channel to them because this only affects you if you signed your entire channel to their program. And if you've done that, you should undo that. Like it's a bad idea. But like, it's a knee-jerk reaction. They have to react to guys like PewDiePie because these streamers, they're getting desperate because their money is getting tight from these ad revenue problems.
Yeah.
And they're gonna start doing dumb things. And they're gonna protect their brand. And like I don't blame them for it. Do I think the program needs work, needs fixing? Yes, absolutely. But you know what? Like it's gonna take them time to find a middle ground, and that's just what it is for now.
Yeah.
They are years behind other companies when it comes to YouTube stuff, so it's just how it is. Like they're the worst when it comes to streaming. They give out the most copyright stuff. Like it's just how they are, at least for now. This has just made their current terrible program a little bit worse. It doesn't affect me personally or any of us because we are not dumb enough to sign our whole channel up to them. And but like it is what it is. Like it's a knee-jerk reaction. They need to do stuff like this because they don't want the bad publicity of racial slurs and public masturbation and shit like that. So. It is what it is.
It is what it is, man. So shout outs to you guys who are part of the Nintendo Creators Program. Hopefully you guys maybe can talk to your representative, whoever is your representative, and maybe they'll get that word back up to the power-ups, the higher-ups. So I don't know, man. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go into our main topic, which is about FIFA, of all things. So before we get into the main thing, let me preface it with this, okay? So this article goes as follows. FIFA 18 on Nintendo Switch apparently won't let you team up with online friends. FIFA 18 has arrived today on the Nintendo Switch, and people who have purchased a copy have noticed a glaring flaw. You can't play online with friends. You can still play online with randoms, but if you were looking to hook up with some friends and play some matches online, then this option is not available. I say that to say this. In the UK, FIFA 18 on the Switch has reportedly only accounted for 1% of physical sales. And the article is as follows. FIFA 18 just launched on a variety of platforms, including the Switch last weekend. The game is definitely one of the biggest releases of the year, as is the case with most sports titles every year. But this year is especially interesting because it marks the first time in a long time that a proper entry in the franchise is coming to a Nintendo system. EA has worked extensively on bringing FIFA 18 to the Switch to the point of even creating a custom engine for it. The company is actually banking its decision on whether it will fully support the Switch or not, depending on how well this custom-built version of FIFA 18 sells. With that said, the first reports of the game sales on Switch aren't too positive. MCV, who is responsible for reporting on the sales of games and platforms in the UK, has released a statement breaking down the sales of physical copies of FIFA 18 into percentages. According to MCV's report, FIFA 18 on Switch currently accounts for only 1% of all the physical copies. PS4 made up to 60%. Xbox One got 37%. Exact numbers were not released. So what's the takeaway from this report? Well, the first thing to note is that the data only accounts for 2 days of sales. The game launched on September 29th, and the report's data stops on the 30th. Another thing to note is that the UK has never been a big market for Nintendo systems. Switch hardware sales in that region have so far been okay, but nothing to really brag about. The third taking to notice is that the report does not take into account digital sales. Those statistics will likely have to come from either EA or Nintendo. Finally, the Nintendo Switch is still a relatively young system. It's not even a year old yet, with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One having much larger install bases than the Switch. It's only natural that a big game like FIFA will perform better on those systems. Anybody want to take a crack at this real quick?
There's a few things. Again, this is specifically in the UK. This is not all of Europe. Some people think it's all of Europe for some reason. Nintendo's presence in the UK is very minimal. I think they have like 50,000 or maybe 200,000 Switches in the UK. It's not a lot.
Yeah.
So by default, they're gonna have the lowest percentage. It's a whole bunch of things. Like the game itself is shit. It's missing features.
It's so many layers, you know.
But you're banking on this game now.
I'd be curious what the NBA 2K sales were like in the UK, because like obviously FIFA is a bigger sport out in UK and Europe than basketball. But I would imagine even NBA 2K sold better than FIFA, simply because this FIFA game is a bad version.
Yeah.
So there goes the shovelware.
We'll kind of get into what this means for EA going forward, but like, is this surprising? Not really.
Not really.
There's other games that have come out around the same time, complete games that aren't missing content, games that you can play with your friends.
Yeah.
I'm glad this game bombed, honestly. Like, I don't care what this means for EA support, because like we shouldn't be buying bad games.
Period.
And
Period.
I mean, yeah.
Coupon, what you got to say about this?
Pretty much he said everything I needed to say. Like, I don't believe in supporting a game that ain't gonna have all the content, all the necessities, required to play the game, being able to play with friends, all that good stuff. I mean, and then you're banking on it, you know, selling well in order to support the system. It's like, you're going to give us a half-baked game and expect it to sell, and that's your, okay, sure, whatever.
You know, the funniest thing about this whole EA situation is they've basically been telling us up until release that this game was not that great and that they didn't try on this version. Like, they've been telling us that out of their own
They
mouths.
have been damage controlling this game since we found out that 2K had all the content.
Yeah.
Right.
Since that
we
was
found
like
that
explained, and especially since Doom and Wolfenstein were announced, they have been in
They've
full
been
damage.
full damage
Because they thought they
control
could
mode.
get. I think what they thought.
They thought they could get away with the Wii game.
it. They didn't. They thought they could get away with doing mediocre. You know, bringing us a mediocre game and thinking it was gonna sell. But when all these other games that actually weren't mediocre, and you got Doom and Wolfenstein, and then you got NBA 2K, you know, and they have the content,
honestly,
they realized.
Fooled a lot of people out here with this. Oh, we made a special custom engine for the Switch.
But
Shut the
2K
hell up.
came and shut that
But
down.
Shut the hell up. This is a
2K was
last
like,
generation
nah.
engine from the 360 PS3, and it's missing the story mode, and you cannot even play online with your friends.
Yeah.
There's no friends lobby.
You did
Like,
that.
and
this
you
is
did
a
that
very
yourself.
lackluster version of the game. I don't know why they did this, considering this is their like only game on the Switch other than some indie game coming later.
Yeah.
But like, this was a piss poor effort from them. Like,
And they
2K blew them out of the water.
And they've admitted it time and time again up
So
until release.
my thing is, you admitted that this was some shitty ass game, so you still owe us a full fucking game to see if you're going to support the Switch. But I really don't care. I'm just saying.
Yes, I want to point out something real quick that the Van23 and NeoStar said in the chat. So Devan said NBA 2K has been top 5 on the eShop since it came out. That's proof that they tried, and people noticed that they tried and they bought the game. And NeoStar9 said, yeah, NBA isn't that great either, missing playing with friends, but at the very least, it still has all the other modes that so many were missing from FIFA, and EA didn't say anything is BS. Yeah, and that's another thing I was gonna say.
They didn't.
I found out that NBA 2K is missing the whole friend thing too. That's Nintendo's fault, I think, because they don't have they don't have an overarching online infrastructure yet on the Switch. So I'm not mad at that, but it's like EA has been damage controlling month after month after month. Up until the game came out, they knew this port was garbage. So if this game doesn't sell well in any of the other regions, they can't be mad because they know they messed up. Because they've been telling us that they messed up.
Another thing about this whole thing,
they thought this was going to be, like, you can tell from this game, they had no faith in the Switch. They thought it was going to be another Wii U.
Yeah.
Right. So my thing is, if you felt that way, why even waste your time? Like, I would have felt better if you had just said we just don't want to support the Switch, or we'll wait till next year to see if we
I don't like
the
about
Switch.
EA when it comes to Nintendo. It's like their CEO or whoever came out. He was talking about, I love Nintendo.
They
my
act
son.
like they love Nintendo so much.
Luigi, all this other dumb shit they say.
They act like they love Nintendo so much.
It's like, I don't care even if you do love Nintendo. If you love Nintendo so fucking much, do yourself a job and make sure these games that come on the system are correct. But you obviously don't like Nintendo showing how you treated this game and you brought it over, you know, half cooked and all that stuff. And I'm a little low key upset with Nintendo too, because they need a little bit more quality control if they're gonna be
I was just gonna say,
but they
when
need
it comes
a little bit more. Yeah, they need a little bit more quality.
When it comes to the online, like the online thing, the online thing, it's shared blame. We know this because Nintendo pushed back their full online to 2018, so they don't have a lot of what Xbox and PlayStation have as standards set yet. But like 2K and FIFA both dropped the ball with online. They didn't make a friends lobby. Like, they still have to make friends lobbies on Xbox and PlayStation. It's not like just there magically. They still have to make it. But they didn't do it on the Switch. And like, the blame also falls on Nintendo as well, because Nintendo should be making them do this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, hey, don't forget those, you know, shits and stuff. And it's, I don't know. It's just very irritating. But at the same time, it's like
the Switch is by far, like, it should be anyways, the most social console ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can take it around with you and have local multiplayer on the go, and you can also play online with your friends. Like, this lobby thing should be an automatic from 2K.
This shouldn't even be a problem anymore.
It shouldn't even be a thing. Like, we know they can do it because Pokken just came out. That has online. You can play with friends. Splatoon has their shitty version of doing it. Like, there's ways to make friends lobbies. Like, obviously. There's games out there that already do it.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of things. It's Nintendo for not having their full online out already, but that's okay because they pushed it back to make it better. So I'm cool with that. It's EA and 2K for not actually putting the effort in and making the friends lobby, and it's also Nintendo for not watching over and making sure that they did it.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of blame to go around because I see a lot of guys out here like that are solely blaming 2K and EA, or they're solely blaming Nintendo. It's like, no, they both take blame on this.
Everybody has something to take from this.
So let me ask you guys this then, because we kind of talked about this a little bit before the chat. We see that FIFA 18 didn't really sell too well in the UK, which is kind of a big deal. Well, I guess Europe in general, and then all other regions as well, because you know FIFA is obviously something that's really, really popular in other countries. Not really so much over here on this side of the world, but well, except for Mexico and South America, they're pretty popular.
Yeah, they love FIFA.
So they know they messed up. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, you know, there was some issues going on, you know, with Nintendo's online side and things like that. However, one monkey wrench in all of this is that the Nintendo Switch is actually a successful device, and companies are proving that people will buy products on the Nintendo Switch because the Nintendo Switch has really, really high software sales as well as hardware sales right now. So do you guys think that after the situation right now with FIFA, EA is done even though the Switch is doing well as a device? What do y'all think? Y'all think they're officially done?
If they're smart, they'll stick with it and try and actually put forth another game that isn't trash.
Oh, wow.
But if they're truly gonna go on their word that this is what they're, you know, dipping their toes in, and they figure that this is a failure, even though it is their fault too, they're just gonna leave back out and miss out on some money, and goodbye's good word and whatever.
Yeah. What do you think, Alex?
First, I just want to like bust out a couple numbers here, just so people have a perspective of what we're talking about here. So I was looking at FIFA 17. Just for the PS4, this game sold 11 million copies. Okay, and out of that 11 million, 8 million were in Europe alone. That's insane. So it's so bizarre that EA would choose a FIFA game where its strongest market by a mile is Europe, and that's Nintendo's weakest market.
That's their weakest market.
How can they use this game to test the waters? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like
I think a lot of this is done on purpose because they really don't want to support it, but they can't. Like, they already said they were going to support the Switch. And so they can't back out and just be like, well, actually, we changed our mind. We don't want to. So they figure, let's just put a half-baked game on the system or something. I don't know, maybe. And maybe this is some conspiracy theory talk, too, as well. And then, oh, okay, it's bombing good. We don't have to, you know, support the Switch. We can back out and, you know, F them.
But as far as what Mia was asking, like, are they going to jump ship? It depends. Like, the Switch is selling. They'll come back. As long as the Switch continues to sell, they're not going anywhere.
That's kind of how I feel. EA is money hungry. They're gonna go
like they
where
want
they feel
money.
like the money is at. So even if they feel like, you know, I guess some kind of way or salty because FIFA didn't do well, and the Nintendo Switch continues to sell, like they can't ignore it.
They're
going to find a way.
Especially with next year. Like, I'm assuming next year is going to be a hot ticket item type of deal. Like, I think the Switch is going to be a big thing for next year. Like, right now, it's hot now and everything, but I just think its second year is really going to take off. For some odd reason, that's just the way I feel. Might be wrong. We'll see. But, like, as long as it continues to do well, as long as it continues to, you know, fly off shelves, as long as it's getting games from other companies
I
and
think
stuff.
they're going to be a little more cautious on the kind of game they choose, though.
Yeah, they'll probably.
I can see
probably.
That happening.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Like I don't know. They probably won't do like FIFA again.
But they can't. I feel like they can't even be mad at FIFA because they know they even admitted that they did.
They can, and you know what they could do. And even so, they could still fix FIFA.
They could.
They really could still fix FIFA. It's not like the damn thing you can't, you know, do a patch or something. It's possible. They could fix it, and it could sell some more from.
Look, they could turn this around just by patching it online and then changing the price down to $30 because it doesn't have all the content anyways.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. I don't know, man. I feel like EA is kind of one of those people, like, they're so fickle, but at the same time, they love money so much, they will hoard themselves out to anybody.
They're kind of stuck. Like, FIFA's kind of stuck. Like, yeah, sure, this was their dip in the water, but they're kind of stuck in the water at this point. Yeah. Because if they bounce out now and say they're literally not going to support the Switch, and that stuff start hitting the fan, and you start seeing sales like crazy for no damn reason, because some new game or whatever, or IP or whatever, and they said they don't want nothing to do with the Switch, don't come. I mean, I would hope Nintendo would be like, nah, fam, you said you didn't want to do it. You out.
Nintendo, as well as they're doing right now, though, they can't really.
But they can't. But they really can't. Yeah, they can't really be doing that. But like. But like, I mean, I don't think I wouldn't either. But I mean, I don't think FIFA. I mean, EA.
FIFA was like, I get why they tried FIFA. Like, I understand because people love FIFA, and this is one they could take around with them. But like on paper, it makes sense. But when you think about how the install base of Nintendo is, that market,
yeah.
It's gonna take a while. Maybe the market will grow over time. Like I said, if they patch it,
they would have been better off doing Madden.
Yeah. Like, I feel like they should have did something like Madden would have been a better idea. Maybe NBA 18, because like NBA 18 is like one of their games that doesn't really do that well because 2K pretty much got all the juice right now. Like if they really wanted to get like NBA 18, like NBA Live in other people's like homes, well, why not try with that game?
Well, they're gonna get busted by 2K anyways.
That's probably what they were thinking too. But it's like, but it's already not a hot franchise though. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, that's true.
You could have built a new fanship because apparently NBA Live 18 is actually a good effort on their part, from what I'm hearing from people who I know who are in the sports games. But let's go ahead and get into these questions real quick, and then we can do our outro and get out of here. So we have a question here from TheVan23. He says, with all of the games being announced for the Switch as of late, do you think that the holiday for Nintendo is starting to get too crowded? I feel like
I'd rather it have more games to choose from than hardly anything. Because I mean, you can always go back and get the games you missed. Yeah,
that's subjective though, because like if you're comparing the holiday lineup of the Switch and then you compare it to like the PS4, it's not close.
Yeah,
not at all.
It's crowded to us.
There's still like there's a good amount of games coming to the Switch.
There's still a nice, decent amount of games though.
But like, it's not the same amount that the onslaught of the other guys get.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a big deal to us because we're not used to having this.
Because you're not used to
that. We came from Drought City for 4 years.
I mean, think about it. So if you think of it like
this is a
the Wii U standpoint, from the Wii U standpoint, this is a lot of games. So from that standpoint,
it's a good lineup. Like it's good to see a lot of games.
Yeah,
like,
I'd rather
nobody wants to see one game during the entire holidays.
Coming into holidays, you got 1 or 2 games on the shelf that you can choose from. And you're just really?
Where we're like about 3 weeks or something, 3 or 4 weeks away from Mario Odyssey. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and then we got freaking Xenoblade coming, and then we have like some third-party stuff coming. Like it's gonna be a good fall.
Nice little setup.
Good holiday.
But I still think there's enough, and there's a lot of good indies too coming. But I still think there's enough wiggle room within Nintendo. If you're like a Nintendo person, there's still some good wiggle room for everybody to eat in the fall. I think it's just a lot of stuff, but there's enough wiggle room for everybody.
I think the reason indie games flourish a lot on the Switch is because they're cheap.
Yeah.
And there's not as much money to throw around when we're talking about $60 third-party games alongside Nintendo games.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's $120, right? Versus like 60 for Nintendo and like 20 for an indie.
Right. Because for example, like a lot of indie games came out on the eShop last week, and a lot of those are still doing well, even though they came on the same day. Like Emblem Park's doing well.
Because those games are cheap and they're fun to play on the go. Like Stardew Valley comes out tomorrow. That's going to be a juggernaut game.
Yes.
Golf Story, I think, is doing pretty good.
Yeah, Golf Story is doing well. That what's that one game? That Pankaku game is like a platformer game. Is doing pretty well. I saw that. Yeah, I think that it's gonna be all right. I think so. I got one from, let's see, Dave J says, when do you think Fire Emblem will return to its glory as opposed to the current softcore porn form?
Oh, when they make the actual Fire Emblem.
I don't know how to break this to you guys, but it's never. I
don't think it's going back to the old style. To be honest, I think that Nintendo sees the backlash that is going on right now with Fire Emblem Warriors, and I think that in the future they will strive to make a more balanced cast for whatever Fire Emblem games that they make. But you're still gonna see them kind of do the more quote unquote modernized version where there's a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff that made it kind of come to the mainstream, but I don't think they're gonna forego it altogether. That's my opinion.
I think they'll have maybe they'll balance it enough to where it won't be overbearing for a lot of us, and then the rest of us who respect the franchise can, you know, still enjoy it.
Just looking at the eShop right now, Golf Story and SteamWorld Dig are both ahead of Pokken Tournament.
Ooh.
Cool.
That's pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, SteamWorld Dig is awesome. I was on that for a while too. I forgot to mention that one. I'm gonna do 2 more questions, you guys. I'm gonna pull 2 more questions and then we're gonna get up out of here. Got a question from Nell. How many re-releases will we see on the Switch next year? I guess he's talking about ports. How many re-releases?
You games?
I hope not a lot.
I hope not.
I want new games now. I don't mind them giving. I don't mind them, but I just hope not a lot.
If they do re-releases though, like they have to be like strategic. Like no more Pokken Tournament tier ports. Sorry. Yeah. Pokken Tournament was good for like 2 days. Then after that, I was kind of over it.
Yeah.
Like, but
I think like one that didn't get a fair shake because they wasted it on some stupid Wii U gamepad garbage was that Paper Mario game.
Yeah.
Because like that game was actually pretty funny. It was just like the combat system was so stupid because they shoehorned in all these gamepad garbage.
Yeah, I think
so. Like, if they got rid of that, it would have been a lot better.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the ship has sailed on Paper Mario. I think that Nintendo has officially made Paper Mario irrelevant. Like the last couple of iterations have been so divisive within the Paper Mario fan base, and I don't really think people care anymore. Like they've officially run that franchise to the ground. I mean, they could possibly revive it. I'm not gonna say
they could revive it, but
also I forgot to say this earlier, and I wanted to laugh about it, but I forgot. Your Metroid game, your C tier franchise, is doing pretty poorly, so I'm happy.
Thank you for that, Alex. So now we're gonna go on to the next question. This is gonna be the last question of the night, guys. Sorry. This is a good question. Another question from Devan23. He said, how many consoles do you guys think the Switch will sell by the end of the holidays? That's actually a really good question. How many consoles
end of this year?
Yeah, by the end of the holidays, the end of the holiday season. That's a good
They'll
question.
sell 2 units more than whatever the Wii U's total is.
What?
So like 14 million, whatever.
By the holidays?
Yeah, why not?
Are you serious?
That's what I hope.
That's if they have them on shelves.
Isn't it like 5 million right now?
We haven't seen sales in months.
I don't know. I just assumed it was probably about
that 5 million was from like month 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Month 2?
Because they don't release sales since then.
I don't know, man. Well,
they're probably closer to 8 by now.
You think so?
Yeah, because they've been selling out every single time. They only recently started getting them consistently in stores. And that 5 million sales was from month 2. We're in month 6 now.
If I kept up with NPD numbers, I would probably be able to give a rough estimate of how many. But I don't keep up with that kind of stuff.
That's only North America.
That's true. That's true. I don't know, man. That's like now I thought it was 5 million. Now, if it were 5 million, I was actually gonna say it would probably be about 8 million by the end of the holidays. But considering that you said what you just said, now I really don't know because we don't know the actual numbers at this point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't show the numbers often enough, but like that 5 million was from much earlier.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like Nintendo don't really like to toot their own horn that much. But they've actually been doing pretty well. They've been winning a lot of NPDs. Like, of course, there's some where they haven't won, but they've been.
Yeah, but they're going head to head with PS4. Like that's impressive. There's some other console out there that hasn't been able to do that.
Oh, freak. So let me ask y'all this then: How do y'all think they're gonna be faring as far as the NPDs for the rest of the year? Y'all think they're gonna win the rest of the year or what? Or
it's still gonna be them and Sony duking it out for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So even in November, huh?
Yeah.
Well, November, October is like Mario comes out at the end of October.
Yeah.
So like a lot of those sales are gonna spill over in November. So we'll see.
I don't know, man.
But like Sony is gonna have a lot of bundles. Xbox has the One X, but that's like a niche thing, so that's not gonna help too much for them. But like Nintendo doesn't have a major hitter in November, but like that console for holiday time is going to be a huge seller for them.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm never good at making predictions for sales numbers or any of that. So I'm sorry I didn't give you the answer that you wanted, Devand. I'm not very good at this stuff, but I think they will be successful through the holiday, though. I don't really think that what's coming to the other platforms is going to stop what's happening now because PlayStation has had a lot of really good games to come out this year, and it doesn't seem to be.
Yeah, they had a very good year.
So I think it just kind of is what it is at this point. Let me see. So, yep, I'm done with questions, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Shout out to the viewers, guys. We got at least up to like 35 people today. So we're gonna go ahead and do our outros. We're gonna get up out of here. So I'm gonna start with Alex. Go ahead and give your outro and let the people know where they can find you.
Alright, what's going on, everyone? ActiveSyn here is another week of Team Red Talks Nintendo. You can find me at the YouTube channel ActiveSyn. Or on Twitter, it's at ActiveSyn Gaming. So yeah, so follow me on Twitter and on YouTube.
All right, Coupon, why don't you let the people know where they can find you?
Yep, you can find me here on YouTube at Coupon Strives, on Facebook at Coupon Strives, or on Twitch and Twitter at Coupon. And I'm out.
And Coupon is building her PC, so her streams are gonna be extra crispy. So y'all be looking out for those.
We're gonna be struggling. We're gonna be struggling tomorrow to fix this thing, to get this thing up and running. Tomorrow is up and running day.
Oh, that's gonna be so exciting! Oh my goodness! All right, you guys, you already know me. As always, it's your girl Nia, the Video Game Her. You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at the Video Game Her, and you can find me on Twitch as Nia Loves Ninty. As far as my channel, I don't really foresee myself making any real videos for a while because, to be honest, there's not really a whole lot that I really care to talk about, but you probably will catch me in a live stream. You guys can see what I've been playing up to this point. Thank you guys again for coming through. Make sure you give this a thumbs up so people can see it in their recommended feed on YouTube. And that is all. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Peace.
Deuces.